everyone. So it is Thursday, and as usual, I must find myself outdoors doing something, finding a plant, finding medicine. So I'm across the stream, and I hope you guys know how to filter and clean out water. So it's moving, and if you really look, there's a huge turtle right there. It's right there. It is a big one. So 3 jumped in when I came up to this area. But you can filter this water. It's moving. It's not stagnant. So if it were a survival type situation, you would have to filter it and then you would have to boil it until it comes to a rolling bubble. And then you would have to strain any kind of material. And this is why you always wear like 2 shirts, 2 blouses, 2 something. Always have a bandana or something with you, especially when you're in a crisis situation. So it looks really bad here because it's winter. So this particular rainforest park, they like to clean this all out so these cattails can grow fresh in the spring. So this is where I'm at. But I hit the jackpot. And you don't know what this is. Look at this. There's more here. There's more there. There's big ones right here. Look at this. It is curly dock. So I see a huge spider in there. So you can use this for detoxing. The roots are the most potent for medicinal purposes, but you can use the leaves also. So I'm going to collect a few leaves, and then there's a whole field of white clover. So this is the clover, and you can always identify it because it has 3 leaves together, and it looks like a 3-leaf clover, but it's not. See the white striation? So that's how you can tell. And they all grow together in a cluster. Let's see if I can get it in the phone, in the camera here. So they all grow together around in a cluster. So this is a field of white clover. And we'll talk about what white clover is later in the video. But there's the flower of the white clover. And there's some other little medicinal plants here. But I'm very excited because there's curly dock all the way to the front of the road. See where the cars are going? This whole stream is nothing but curly dock. You just have to be careful with the critters, brown recluse spiders, snakes, and all those different things. Poison ivy, poison oak. There's ragweed if you're allergic to ragweed. There's a lot of ragweed here. But the exciting news is this curly dock is just everywhere. Here's another baby one growing. And you can tell by the edges are kind of ruffled, almost like a spinach. So you can use the leaves, but I'm gonna come back and harvest some of the roots. That's where the medicine is. Here's more here. The big leaves. So I'm guessing it's all the way along the water because since I came in the park, I spotted it. But this is a beautiful cluster right here to harvest. I'm sure it's got a beautiful root to it. So I'm gonna go and get some gloves and come back to this park and harvest some of those. I might harvest some of the white clover. There's just a field of clover, just tons of clover. And look, here's some more curly dock right here. That was all cattails that I was enjoying. You know, you can make baskets out of this. You just have to, now that it's completely dried out, the next step is to put it in the water. There's more. Oh, I almost lost my phone. Look at those over there. There's some huge leaves right here. Look at that curly dock. So that's all medicine. Look at this big one coming straight up through the cattails. That's a big leaf. Those are big leaves. So this is why I enjoy foraging and taking folks out. So I do small groups. Look at this. This all curly dock. And these cattails also are medicinal, and you can use them for food, but I like to use them for baskets. You can make a really nice basket with this. Look at this, long strips. I might come back and get some of these. I could even actually sit here and make a basket really quick. They just need to be watered. So I think I'll come back and get some of these long ones and then make a basket. But you can't say you're out of material if you're trying to make a basket with all of this. So that is it. Let me head back to the lab and get some things done. But I'm very excited that there is curly dock just everywhere. And the curly dock is good for detoxification. You get a lot of nutrients out of the leaves, but the medicine is in the root. Okay, so we'll talk more about that in another video. Once I harvest it and bring some back to the lab, then we can talk about curly dock. In the meantime, go ahead and do your research on yellow dock and curly dock, and put what you find in the comments. All right, see you in the next video. Okay, so I am back in the garden, and this is the curly dock. The Latin name is Rumex crispus. Rumex crispus. R-U-M-E-X, crispus. So here is the medicinal part that you can make a tincture with. This is the root. This is where most of the medicine is. Whenever you think of a plant, think of the flower as the least potent. The leaves are the second potency. And the root is the most potent because it's underground, it's covered, all the nutrients are going into the soil, into the root. So this is used for liver detoxification, decongestant of the liver, and you can actually take a piece off if you get bit by a bug, or if you're in the forest and you come across a plant that's very itchy, like stinging nettle. You can chew this, make a spit out of it, make it like a little paste in your mouth, and put it on the itchy part, and it should go away. In addition to that, you can use the small leaves, not the big leaves that you saw in earlier part of the video. You want to use the tender small leaves. You can put in the salad. They are packed with nutrients. But there you have it, curly dock or yellow dock.